right, time now for But First, brought to you by Pacifico. Live life, anchors up. Sixers Heat, game one. Could James Harden and the Sixers steal one without Embiid? We learned last night the answer is no. No, he could not. Not when Harden goes for 16 points, not when the Sixers miss 28 of their 34 attempts from three, and certainly not when I phrase the question like that. Heat win, 106-92. Not that the Heat played that great either, but for Harden, that is now 11 straight playoff games. He's been held under 25 points. So, Broussard, I'll start with you. Did game one prove Harden cannot carry the Sixers with Embiid sidelined?
Yes, it was the latest evidence. I think many of us knew that already, but yeah, it furthered the narrative that no, that James Harden is gone. And everybody keeps saying, we need the Houston Harden. That Houston Harden doesn't exist anymore for a couple of reasons. Number one, it might be age and wear and tear. All right, James Harden is in his 13th season, and if he were to begin fading right now, which I think he has, it's not like he's young. I think people have this perception that, he's still young. Why in the world isn't he the same player? No, look at these numbers. James Harden has played more career games in the regular season than Allen Iverson played, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird. And they all played 13 seasons, save Iverson, who played 14. So my point is that Harden has had a complete career already. So if he is beginning to fade, which he is, it's not out of the ordinary. It just is what it is. He'll be 33 years old in August. And you can clearly see, guys, he can't blow by defenders anymore. He doesn't have the same burst, whether it's age or the hamstring injury that seems to be the worst in the history of the NBA, Wilds. He can't do it. Secondly, Mike D'Antoni's not coaching this team. And James Harden is legitimately great in his own right, but Mike D'Antoni's offense was tailor-made for him. The only years that Harden averaged 30 or more points was in Mike D'Antoni's system. So he's not going to do it outside of that system that's completely built around him that Mike D'Antoni had, Wilds. And look, to his credit, he is not forcing the issue. He's only averaging 13 shots a game in the playoffs, and I've said it before. A Harden who's more of a playmaker gives you 20 points, 11, 12 assists, and Maxey and Tobias Harris and Embiid get theirs. You can win that way. The problem, of course, is Embiid wasn't there last night and won't be there for game two, Wilds.
Okay, well, Embiid wasn't there and Harden wasn't really there either. That Miami team was ripe to be taken down. They didn't shoot well at all. And James Harden, who recently won the MVP, was thoroughly outplayed by Tyler Hero. There was one guy out there that was playing well. I was like, oh, who won the MVP? Is it that guy who Jack Harlow wrote a song about, Jenna? It was called Tyler? I'm like, no, it's actually the guy with the big beard. He won the MVP not long ago. Not long. He's 32. And Broussard, I love you, but there was a rumbling and an audible sort of like when there's an earthquake when you compare Iverson to James Harden on any graphic. That's just insane. Iverson gave it all, a heart and soul, diving on the floor everywhere, and Harden, let's just say, has not. So Nick, I was shocked that James Harden. It's not that he can't. We've talked about this on the show before. It's a can't and a won't. I guess so, but he also won't. He had 4 field goal attempts in the second half in a winnable game. I don't know. Can I see a try? You're going to shoot. I mean, he didn't play a lot in the
fourth. He can't create the same space.
Jeez. Well, Broussard, honest to God, if we put you in the game, wouldn't you get more than 4 shots up? If I was like, Broussard, you want a contest? Wouldn't you get up 5 shots in the second half? It's just, it's insane.
Well,
it's insane, Nick.
Nice,
I'm just surprised how far we are from MVP Harden.
Okay, can I jump in for that? I have one Harden point, and then I want to talk about what I actually think was the bigger story here. First Harden point is, I've got to understand how Wild's brain works when it comes to time. Because all year, I referenced the fact that the Lakers won the title 2 seasons ago. And Wild has been like, oh my God, pandemic math, 18 months, all this stuff. And now he's like, Harden won the MVP recently. No, he didn't. He won the MVP 5 seasons ago.
Two guys have won.
Yeah, but they both won back-to-back, you dope. It went, Harden won the MVP.
Two guys.
And then it went Giannis, Jokic, Jokic. So this idea that's like saying in 1999 that Isaiah Thomas won a title recently. What do you mean? Well, 2 teams have won it, the Bulls and the Rockets. It's like, yeah, but it was 8 years of Bulls and Rockets. So that's a weird thing with how Wildes does time and space. But you know what, Wildes? I'm going to meet you in the middle on your time and space continuum.
Okay.
Because James Harden was winning MVPs the last time DeAndre Jordan was playable. And Doc Rivers' refusal to acknowledge this. And seemingly, he was asked about it a few weeks ago, and he's like, listen, idiot media, when they're big, we're going to play big. When they're small, we'll play Paul Reed, I guess, if you make me. But maybe not. And then yesterday, he's like, hey, get out your pen and paper. We're going to keep playing DJ. Like he has a bet he has to win. DeAndre, in the first half last night, they played 20 minutes without DeAndre Jordan. They were plus 13. They played 4 minutes with him. They were minus 12. And then in the second half, because Paul Reed got in foul trouble, he's like, DeAndre, get out there. And it was over. Brew, he doesn't jump for rebounds. He doesn't try on defense. Doc gets a lot of flack for things that might be unfair. His commitment to playing a guy who is right now the worst player in the league that gets to play is impossible. It's just impossible. He's been done for 3 years. Steve Nash even realized it. Frank Vogel begrudgingly finally realized it. You're starting him in playoff games. It's impossible. So even if Harden was great, you can't get over the DeAndre thing. You just can't, or I can't.
Well, Nick, to your point, DeAndre played the bulk of his minutes in the third quarter, and that's when the game got away from Philadelphia.
Yes.
You know, they looked good at halftime, and then they played DeAndre in the third, and it was a wrap. And so you're right. I don't get it. Obviously, without Embiid, he wanted size in there, but there are better ways to attack than to put DeAndre Jordan out there. No doubt about that. That was a bad move.
He won't jump for rebounds.
And Doc,
watch America.
And Doc doubling down. Says he's going to continue to play him if he has to, because he can. Hey, which player will take the top spot in Knicks playoff player pyramid? Say that a couple times without